Alright, hello and welcome to Joe's Life 1. This is Joe. Today we're going to be talking about the Benchmade Bushcrafter 162. That is a beautiful knife right there. Absolutely beautiful. Alright. So when Benchmade released this knife, they called it the Bushcrafter. I think initially that's probably suffered a little bit because it's really not a bushcrafting knife. To me, this is more of a survival knife or a trail knife or a camping knife. It's really not a bushcrafting knife. It can be used for bushcrafting, but it's not a traditional bushcrafting knife. The bushcrafter is going to look at it and go, it doesn't have a Scandi grind. And its steel is the wrong steel. We like a little bit softer steel so that we can sharpen it easier out in the boonies. And you're right, it's not a traditional bushcrafting knife. It's more of a survival knife or a trail knife or camping knife. Those are the things that I traditionally use it for. Yeah, it's so that's why you're gonna get probably a few reviews that are not 100% perfect positive on it. So when I purchased it, I received it and I got it. I was kind of like, oh, this wasn't really what I wanted. You know, this wasn't the knife I wanted really 100%, but I kept it. And at first I was kind of a little bit like, I spent $212 on, $215 on this knife. And, you know, I don't know. Well, it grew on me. Over time, it grew on me. I've owned it for a few years now, and anytime I go camping, hiking, anything where I'm going to be out in the backcountry somewhere where there's a chance that I might have to hike out. I have a commercial pilot license. I don't fly commercially, but I do fly some of the single engine airplanes out, you know, out around, and anytime I go anywhere, I usually check that in my bag. It follows me anywhere I go where I'm like, I'm gonna go out shooting with my brother today, and we're gonna go out in the boonies in a truck somewhere, you know. Well, that knife follows me in the truck out in the boonies because we might end up walking 20 miles, you know. You never know, and or we might get stuck out somewhere, and I might need to make a fire or something. You just don't know. And so this is the knife that follows me everywhere. I trust my life to this knife, and I absolutely love it. Some of the negatives. One of the negatives was the sheath a little bit. It's got a little insert in there. It's a little plastic insert. Initially, it was a little funky, and sometimes even still going in and out of the sheath, it's not perfect. It's a little bit but once again, you're nitpicking. It's a nice sheath. It works. One of the things I did buy was this D-ring dangler for it, so you can hook it onto your belt. I used to just hook it through my belt there. It's not my favorite way to carry. I like this dangler. It carries much easier. It's got this little loop for a ferro rod, which I absolutely love. Some people were saying that the steel's too hard to throw sparks with the ferro rod. I can 100% guarantee you it has a very sharp spine, a very, very sharp spine there. I mean, you can, my fingernail there. It'll throw sparks absolutely no problems. I might even roll in a little video at the end of this video here if I can figure out how to do that. No problem throwing sparks. Another thing that was a little off when I started was it's a little fat right here at the top of the handle, and I was a little wary about that at the beginning, but now, after, like I said, this knife grows on you. After I've owned it for a while, I actually like that. It's a very, very nice, very solid feeling knife in your hand. I've batoned with it. It's not the best batoner. It's a little bit short for it, but you can do it. Especially if you start off cutting off portions of the log rather than going all the way through the log. What else was I going to say? It'll cut feather sticks, no problems. When you sharpen it up, It comes extremely sharp, and if you sharpen it up, it's a very sharp knife. Yeah, like I said, I think this this knife suffered a little bit from the marketing department of Benchmade a little bit, just by poor marketing. I think they marketed it to the wrong audience. They were thinking that bushcrafting was going to be huge, and it's big, but I think that they should have gone and sold this knife for what it is. It's more of a trail slash survival knife. Another cool thing I was going to say is right here you can hold that right there, and you can smack with this knife, and it will you can do a little bit of chopping with it too if you're lemon branches or something. Yeah, what else was I going to say there? Anyway, yeah, it's the fit and finish on this knife is absolutely amazing. You got your S30V steel. Mr. Silbert was definitely thinking when he built this knife. You got resin fiberglass filled G10, and I believe those are titanium in there. And the fit and finish on this is just absolutely amazing. It's been beat on and moved around a little bit, and it's never had any issues. Anyways, this is when Joe's Life 1, and we were talking about the Benchmade Bushcrafter 162. Definitely I would purchase again, and probably one of my favorite fixed blade knives. Probably my favorite fixed blade knife that I own right now. I would purchase this again in a heartbeat. I will probably be my long-term knife. This will probably be the knife that I carry for probably, it's probably the end-all knife for me for fixed blades. I probably won't, I have other fixed blades, and I do like fixed blades and different ones, and I try them out, but this will probably be the one I carry with me for till the end. So anyways, this has been Joe with Joe's Life 1. Thank you very much, and have a great day. I also just wanted to show how thick the steel on this blade is right here, especially towards the tip right there. It has a very nice, still holds its thickness all the way through to the tip, so it's got a good solid tip on there. And just adding that on there real quick.